What up, everybody? How you doing? You already know it's like a loco. We today on this episode of CannaConvos we have Toasty Mama, aka K Bug, right? The Toasty Mama, I think. Uh, she's killing it in the game. You already know she's doing badass. What up, everybody? How you doing? Cannabis planner, plant doctor. Hey, cannabis plant doctor. What's cracking? What's cracking? I am going to get in here and I'm going to send this to K Bug real quick. Let's see how she wants to be introduced. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about DWC because I'm pretty sure she started in DWC, which takes a lot of a lot of balls, man. Because I haven't made that jump yet to DWC, but I will. I'm planning on it. It's gonna be happening. But personally, I switched a whole bunch of stuff. We got the blue mat system going. Well, not going yet. I have to put it together, but I have the Gaia Green, big bags of the Gaia Green, the worm casting, and I have some mycorrhizas. So I am going to start doing organics all the way. And yeah, man, we're gonna be doing this, baby. How you doing today? Let's send everybody invites, or I mean, to come check it out. Currently running the whole DWC room. Nice. Yeah, I had Dr. Hydro on. If you haven't checked out my episode of that, he is a DWC specialist, and that boy, man, DWC is a different game. I definitely dig it though. I dig it. Bam. Lebowski. Make sure to say hi to everybody. How's it going? You already know. We chilling, killing, acting like a villain, chilling with the little homie Krillin. Ay, chinga. How's everything going out there? Sorry, guys. I gotta send it all. Sending it all. We're waiting on K-Bug to come up and jump on, and then we will finish the show. Yeah, she's killing it on the TikToks. She's killing it on the Instagram, man. The Instagram. Ay, chinga. Yeah, doing really good out there. You gotta be following her. Make sure to give her a follow. I'm pretty sure she's sponsored by AC Infinity also, which is pretty nice. That's the goal, man. That is the goal. I have sponsorship though. I'm sorry. Don't forget about mine. I am sponsored by High Photon Flux LEDs. Make sure to go check out the website. The link is in my bio. You go ahead and hit the link. It'll take you to the website. If you want to, you could put in the promo code. Defiant, what's cracking? Put promo code Sly aka Loco, all one word, for save yourself a little something off at checkout. Make sure to go check out those plants. I mean those lights. Those lights are killing it, man. Them lights are killing it. I got one. It's doing good. I love it. It is the HPF 4000. HP 4000. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I almost forgot about that one. How's everybody doing today? Hippie Organic, what's cracking? Bam. We're waiting on K-Bug. She's on her way right now. And then we'll get this interview started. Now, I am in the runnings to be I'm trying to book some more people. And I'm going to spread out. Toasty Mama, there she is. Let's get her in here. Yeah, so I'm going to be getting some more people in here. I'm going to try to go for some, Yo!
I'm so sorry, sugar. How are you?
Don't even
Hello.
trip. Don't even trip, chocolate chip.
Hello.
You're doing good.
You're so funny with that. I've actually started saying that because of you. I'm not even
Wow.
kidding. Yeah, I've literally,
Yeah.
I'm like, go trip, chocolate chip. But I'm like, oh, wait, that's not mine.
It's all right. Go ahead and take it. It's fine. So for those who don't know, this is K-Bug. She is killing it in the game. She is a badass TikToker. She has a TikTok. Are you still doing TikToks?
I do,
all
yeah.
Right. So she's killing it with the TikTok. She's a grower. She's
Look at
killing it in the game. So we're going to, for everybody who wants to know, if this is your first time on this episode of CannaConvos, I try to give the guest all the attention. So if you try to jump in, I'm not going to allow anybody in right now because it's K-Bug's night of, it's her turn. So we're going to be giving her all the attention, huh?
And I'm going to give it right back to y'all.
All right.
Hi,
Good.
Ethos. Thank you for joining.
Everybody go ahead and
This is
pass
very
this on to the
sweet.
friends. Make sure you send it out to everybody so that they can jump in, and
Pascal.
we'll start this interview up. Huh? You
Yeah.
ready? All right.
Sure, yeah.
So, number one question. It's a question that I ask everybody. Where did you get your name from?
The Toasty Mama?
Yeah, the Toasty Mama, K-Bug, all that.
So it's really funny because if you scroll down to the bottom of my page, the way I started on Instagram, this was my personal account. I was a
Okay.
stay-at-home mom. This was before COVID, and I was working at a smoke shop, and I'm always toasted. So,
Okay.
and I use it to describe, like, I'm not the best mother in the world, but I'm not the worst mother. I'm right in the middle. I'm toasty. And then it
Yeah.
kind of like took off, and then everybody took it as being baked all the time. And I was like, well, that worked out beautifully. Okay. Because that's a lot of
It worked for your
pressure.
brand.
You know?
Definitely for your brand, right?
Yes, it definitely is very yeah, the idea is there, but it's like the more I get involved and like learn like the back end things and just like the politics of all of it, I'm like, I don't really think I'm okay with being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm like, because it gets muddied and then you lose the vision and the goal, which is the plant, which is
Yeah.
it's medicine. It's not meant
Yeah.
to be this big heat, but I
Demonize
digress. We all grow
and shit.
differently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like make it more, accessible. I'm big on, I love THC. I'll never say that it's not beautiful. However, I get really in my feels when people are like CBD, CBG, and I'm like, you wouldn't even have that Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol if it wasn't for CBG, because that's the mother of all cannabinoids. So it's hard though. I will say it's very hard to breed all three of them together without one choking the other one out. Hello, Mr. Green Thumb. Oh my goodness. Look at your cat. You guys crack me up. The K-Bug thing. The K-Bug thing was because I dressed as a ladybug one year for Halloween because my plants were not doing well, so I used ladybugs. And then it's kind of, so that's funny
Nice.
though, the brand. That's crazy. How'd you come
That's
up
your
with
brand.
yours?
It is your brand. So I say embrace it. So
I will try.
because you can start to make a revenue out of this, and like just being you, people are gonna start following in because they like you and they're into you. So I say keep it going, keep being you, keep doing it, and you'll just you'll be killing it, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just being me over here, and I'm getting all these people, and it's it's interesting. It's pretty cool though. I like it.
It's really crazy to grow with these plants. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I get upset about, because I'm like, guys, growth happens in and out of the tent all the time. But I get it. Some people, and I get it. Like, again, we all grow our own way, but you have to grow as a person in order to really grow. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but
And Emily, anything grows. She was saying that. She was saying that she got her name because anything grows. Everything grows. And so growth is something that we need, right?
Yes. Spiritual growth, emotional growth, mental growth, because all the information is out there. We have the technology, right? So why not use it? Why not use your influence and your pull to do something good instead of just being self-serving? But we're all ego-driven creatures. I understand that. But, it's, the calling is greater, I feel like. And that's where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to focus on this instead of all that.
Yeah.
Safer in the tent.
Yeah, and I just want to let you know that you're killing it in there, and I see
you're so sweet. Thank you. It is a huge honor to be here. Really, it really is. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
And so my second question, how long have you been growing for?
So I've been growing cannabis for 2 years. It was not legal here. We'll legally grow it, right?
Yeah.
It's Fight Club rules. But I started practicing with tomato plants and orchids because anatomically the structures are the same, but the blooming aspect of the orchid is very similar to the needs of the flower when it's in flower. So I started there, and then the transition was super. I mean, with anything, there are learning curves, right? But it wasn't like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know. But I still have those moments. I still have those moments where I'm like, oh, I've never seen that. That's interesting.
No, I'm
what I do?
dealing with that right now. My plant is starting to fuck up on me, and I'm just like, it's not
Don't
looking
give
nice.
up.
It's definitely not my best, but
Hey,
hey, you got to keep it going, right?
listen, don't give up. Never
Oh,
give up on a girl.
no,
I'm a firm believer. Never give up on a girl because you will be pleasantly surprised what these ladies, if you're kind to them and the energy I'm a firm believer. I don't see people. I see energy. So I don't see ethnicity. I don't see gender. I see the way you move and how the world moves around you. And I feel like the energy you put into them, they will give back to you. But if you're on some fuck shit, then they already know, and they're not gonna want to grow. They're gonna be. You could have the best equipment in the world. If you have the shittiest personality, you didn't have shitty buds.
Yep.
But you get in what you put in. So I'm always singing to them. I play them music. They all have names. They're
So
spoiled.
do you see that? Do you see that playing music in your grow room actually does help the plants? Because I do. I play music too all the time.
So I think that it definitely, yes, because it helps me. It puts me, music is my
Okay.
love language. Music is my language in general. If I have a very hard time articulating how I'm feeling, I can find a song. Give me 2 seconds. I got you. Like, that's not
Yeah.
hard. And when I'm in that
Yeah.
energy and you're putting that energy into your grow, you'll see the difference, I
Yeah.
feel like. But
Yeah.
I'm also the one who will open my tent and be like, "Sup, bitches? Y'all got anything for me today?" Oh, you're all ungrateful. But you follow it up with love. It's all about the aftercare, you know?
They know you just playing.
Because they know I'm about to go over there and break the shit out of them.
Yeah. So my third question is did you start in DWC or did you already or did you do soil first?
The water of DWC. Now, I started like a dirty girl. Started in dirt first, fucked
Okay.
around there for a little
Okay.
while, but I was watching the expansive growth and yields of some of the same strains I was growing that my friend was growing, and he was growing them in hydro. And I was just like,
Wow, I want that.
okay, okay. Because there's a strain in particular called sex pot. If you throw her in dirt, she's pink. You put her in the water, she's purple. And that was very interesting to see. So I started delving into the DWC realm. I really want to get back to it, but right now it's just not the time because I would just be throwing beans in the water to waste them. Because of
Yeah.
I don't use a chiller. That's
Okay.
like the most mind-boggling part. And people are like, "You don't use a chiller?" I'm like, "You don't need one."
What's a
I'm all
chiller?
about yeah, you don't need one. You
I
really
okay.
don't.
I haven't done DWC yet, but I've had a DWC specialist on here, and he's been like explaining some things to me. And so I was
Do
wondering,
it.
what is a chiller? Should I?
Yes, absolutely. If I can encourage anybody to go in the water, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Yes, but you have to take into consideration the reason why I'm back, because I've messed with pretty much all of the mediums except aeroponics. I'm not an airbender. I'm not. But I've done cocoa. I loved cocoa. Very needy, lots of watering, but
Yeah.
it was nice to see the nutritional balance and the deficiencies showing before, because you know when you do it in soil, you got to wait like a week
Yeah.
before it actually
Yeah.
reflects in the
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
Cocoa and hydro, it's almost instant. And that was the appeal for me with hydro was it's more challenging, yes, but once you really get it honed and dialed in, it is a breeze. And when you fuck up, because you will fuck up, you all it is as simple as you change out the bucket and then the problem's fixed. You reset it.
Really?
Yes.
So
And
that's like a flush, like what you
basically,
do.
yes. You just
Ah,
flush
okay.
it out. And then
Ah,
it's very simple, but it's very tedious. It's a lot of work, especially when they're babies. I call it the drop. This is where I fuck it up every time. When I take the seedlings in the hydrogen and then I drop them in the nut bucket to drop in the bucket itself, you got to keep that little gap perfect. And you got to top it off. You got to top feed it. And you got to make sure that everything's balanced, all about balance, right?
yeah.
And so you got to make sure there's that good balance so that you get roots to pop. Otherwise, she's just going to die. And it kills me to see that happen. I'm like, oh, my baby. But if
Oh
you
yeah.
can get her in there, you get her adjusted, oh, you will be like, what the fuck? This root ball looks like Robin. But that's what
Okay.
that's about. The
Nice.
chiller is to chill the water because you don't want your temperatures to get too hot. Otherwise,
Okay, so
you get root rot.
what would a hot temperature be? Like 80s, 75s?
temperature of the water.
Yeah.
You want to be at least, I tried to keep mine under 27.
20.
Again, it all, oh yeah, you want the water to be like, it can't be warm, it can't be hot, because you've got, even if you cover that shit with all the hydrogen in the world, there's still going to be pokes of light. Well, what happens when light hits the water and there's already some sort, because I add artificial microosmosis,
it causes
algae blooms.
Algae blooms, yeah.
Algae blooms suck. Oh, they're terrible.
For those who don't know, an algae bloom sucks out oxygen, and it stops the plant from being able to get oxygen. So you don't want algae in your in any of your grow, in soil or hydro. Okay.
No. That's why it kills me when I'm like, you need to transplant that clone like yesterday, Fred. It's green. What are we doing? You want it to live? Come on now, don't do this to my girl.
Yeah.
Again, everyone grows different. I don't use a chiller because I can't afford a chiller. And I think that's where, like, I'm the Pinterest mom. If I can find it on Pinterest, if I can find a hack on Reddit, if I can find a feasible, easy way to do this, because I am a single mother, I'm not working right now, so I have to find means and methods within my availability to do so. And it's like I see everybody get all stoked.
I don't want to say that it's the poor man's grow.
No, it's the thrifty method.
I mean,
I call it thrifting because let's be real. These fucking plants were doing their thing out in the nature without us fucking with them for how long? We're trying. You know what I mean? Like, and I know people who literally, my one friend, he sent me the schematics. He has a whole flood table. My man spent $25 putting that together. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So I don't buy, I was like, okay, so that's not really necessary, because when you put in the DWC system, if you do it how I did it, which was 4 5-gallon buckets, 4 air stones, 1 air pump, even with the backflow valves, because I had a problem once before I got backflow valves, I didn't know, and the power went out, my whole tent flooded. The whole fucking tent flooded. Oh yeah, I opened it and it came, and I was like, so now we know the importance of backflow.
For those new growers out there, you need to know that sometimes when you're growing, power outages will happen. And when those happen, like, you need to get in there immediately. And start to open up the tent so that it can get air, because it can suffocate. If you're in DWC, I'm pretty sure you're screwed if you're in DWC, right?
Not exactly, because if you've got the backflow valves, and then this is the other thing, you can fit 4 plants on a 4x4 beautifully.
Yeah.
But when you do it in the buckets, I have another bucket, because I am not going to mount anything or put holes in my tent to mount my air pump. Okay. I put it on top of a bucket. So now I've got 5 buckets in there. And I've got 1 in the middle with the pump on top. Or now that we've grown, now we just figured out getting longer tubes, so you put the bucket on the outside with the pump on the outside, so you can reclaim that grow space, because then you're losing room to grow it. And it's like, well, hold on, wait, I want to put a plant there. I can put a whole ass plant right there. You know what I mean? So, and that was the thing about me with the chiller. I was like, so wait, I have to put something else in there? No, that's not going to work. So what we did was we went down our favorite rabbit hole, which is Reddit. There's so much information on Reddit, because a lot of the people who have been doing this for a long time, they're very reluctant. They're not just going to come onto Instagram. They're not going to give you the keys to the fucking kingdom. That's just not how it works. They're used to old school Fight Club rules, which is first rule about the grow is you don't talk about the grow. But they will do it on Reddit, and they have been doing it for years. So if you know where to look, you will find anything you need. And this dude was telling me, or was posting on there, about how he did DWC on a budget. And I was like, well, this is the article for me. And he was like, I don't use the chiller. You know what I do? Frozen water bottles.
Yeah, somebody in the comments just said that.
Dead ass. Really? Yeah. See? My man. Yes. I'm trying to keep my eyes up here. So I do the water bottles, and I will do I'll do my pH up and pH down ice cubes. I'll put them in the freezer, and then when the things are like, the pH is fucked up, I'm like, boop.
that's smart as shit, man. Okay,
It
see, this is why.
takes a
Now I want you
while.
guys to know this is why I'm doing this show. I'm doing this show so that we get this information out there for everybody instead of
Yes.
holding on to the
Bogarting
information. I don't
it.
want that
Yeah.
anymore. Because right now, the to change the status quo is going to take all of us to change the status quo. So we all need to come together and start sharing information,
There
guys.
is no
Okay, this kind of
unity.
information like this is what I'm talking about. The pH in an ice cube, never would have thought of that. I never would have thought.
It is silly. It's so silly in
It's
hindsight,
not
but
silly.
like
No, that's
it
not silly.
works.
That's
It
genius.
works for me. You know, it works for me, and it cracks me up because some of my friends who are like they're really up there and they've got all the sponsors and all the equipment, and they'll be like, "How did you do that without a chiller?" I'm like, "Oh, look here, well.
Let me show you a little trick.
Let me show you a trick. It's called frozen water bottles, ice cubes, and just making sure that the water you put in kind of like, and that was where I was getting towards the end of my DWC grow, was that learning that temperature is a huge fucking factor. And the tent I was using, it was a 2-in-1 tent. It was a brand new light I had never used. It was a strain I'd never grown before. And that is one thing I got to get better about is I feel like every grow I got to do something different in order to learn. The only way I'm going to be able to learn is if I keep it consistent, find what works, and then start making adjustments as I go. But until I have that solid foundation, I'm just fucking around and finding out, basically, and that's not good for longevity.
I'm kind of like you. I do that too.
Right? It's
I
so
need to
hard not
know.
to.
I have to know. So I will try it because
Yeah.
why not?
Why
I mean,
not?
I'm very curious.
Why
And
not?
so I will try like just now, have you heard of water curing? This is one of my questions, by the way. Have you heard
Water
of water curing?
curing? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
So
Okay, bring it.
this is the reason why I'm trying to tell you guys. I got to spread this
Water
information out,
curing?
right? So this water curing is where you straight up take some buds. I don't know if it's after it is dry or before it's dry. I don't know on that part. But you put them into a jar of water, let it sit for a couple days or a day, and then with all the contaminants and all the water will change colors. And then you drain out that water and put new water and keep it in. Keep doing that for 7 days, 10 days, whatever your cure is, a whole month or whatever. And then you pull it out and dry it and smoke it. Now, this is weird. I know, right? Look at your face. That's what I was doing too. What the
It's
fuck?
not
Like,
compute. Hold on, wait. Because
I
at
was
first
like
I
this.
was gonna be like, "What is that? You just didn't want to wash all the shit you sprayed on top of
No,
it? You worried
no,
about something?" But now I'm like, "Hold
that's
on,
just
wait. For
bud
that
water.
long?
Yeah.
For that long?
Yes. And when you keep doing it, as you keep changing out the water, the water will be clearer and clearer. And so, like at the end of the cure, it'll be clear water. You won't need to change out the water. Fucking mind blown. Huh?
How do you know that it's? So how, are they still doing like what 2 weeks for hanging and drying, or are they
I don't
using?
know. That's why I don't know. I'm gonna try
That's
it.
the thing.
I'm
Man.
trying.
These are the things.
So I just harvested, and I have some OG Chem that's hanging in the plant. Actually, I gotta go trim it tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna take some of those buds, and I am going to try this cure, the water cure. So you guys make sure to keep following, because I'm going to show everybody, or at least I'm gonna try it. I don't know if I'm doing it right. If anybody in there has, in a dark, cool,
in a dark,
cool place.
So you've got dark, cool, and water. That sounds like mold to me.
It does. I don't know, but you got to keep it sealed, obviously, right?
I have to see this.
I gotta try it too.
What do you have to do? What do I have to sacrifice?
You know what you need to do?
I'm interested.
You know what you need to do is you need to go on Reddit and ask this question.
I am like, I'm so far down the Reddit rabbit hole right now. I'm learning how to do tissue cultivation because and I have found a way for people like us who don't need lab equipment to fucking do it. I just haven't done it myself. I found somebody local to me actually who's doing it, and he's done it successfully a number of times. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take the leap. I'm going to try it because the idea of not having to keep moms, not having to pass out genetics and hope that that motherfucker answers the phone so you can pick it up or whatever, you don't have to worry about. That's a thing of the past now.
Yeah.
Because now you can keep them with you frozen for months and years. And I'm like, because I have so many seeds I want to pop, but I have some strains that I don't want to lose. I have one strain that has been with me since I started growing, and I guess this
2 years?
goes back to your first question. Yes, I've had
You've
her for
had
2 years.
a strain for two
Yes,
years.
and the person who
Ah,
gave her to me had her for 20 years, and he was like, I have never seen this plant. Well, and I was like, well, think about it because you're using high pressure sodium. I had the 600 R spec at the time.
okay.
Two completely different beasts.
Was that
Two
an LED
completely
power
different.
spec?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It was, but that light, ooh, that light was so fucking hot. Oh my God. Like the heat coming
The
off of it.
LED light was hot.
Yes,
Huh?
at that
Huh.
time, yes.
Was it the
So when,
one that had the fan on it? Or
no, it was the
no?
big, I don't even know if they make them
Was
anymore
it a
because I don't see them
quantum board?
pushing them. It was the Quantum board. It was
Okay.
the first one that they made before the Diablo series came out. So it's supposed to
Okay.
be a step under. It was the big board light that they made that was all red.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's the
Yeah,
light
yeah.
I started
Oh,
with first was the
so those ones
600R
run hot,
spec.
huh?
Yes, very, very hot.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
so when I mean, I love HLG. I will always rock HLG because they took a chance on me and they gave me something I would never be able to afford. And when I got the Blackbird, the dramatic difference. I was mind blown. I literally ran them next to each other, both my 4x4s against each other, same plants, because I'm a psychology major, so I'm really big on longitudinal studies, case studies, ethics, controls, variables, and just making sure that I'm not out here feeding people
Yeah,
bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't want to
yeah,
do that just to
yeah, me
sell
neither.
something. That's not, nah,
Yeah.
no. But when I got the Blackbird, the difference was fucking crazy. First of all, the light never even got half as hot as the other one did on the first volume. So that was a big thing. The Blackbird is also, have you seen it where it's separated? It's got 6 little slots. So I went from a box light, a board light, and it's not really a bar light. It's kind of like the bar light's baby. So the
Okay.
HLG
So a
Blackbird
precursor.
is, yes, basically. So
Okay.
imagine if you just like cut like little divots in the side, and it has 3 bars, 1, 2, 3, going across, and then at the end are the lights on the very end. And the petals are so, I was like, oh, this is so beautiful to look at. And the more I learn about lights, because I've been playing around with Reddit
You're
rabbit
not supposed
holes,
to look at
and
them.
yeah, well, the how people are pushing different colors to come out of phenos by pushing more red or pushing more blue, or like I still don't understand that. I'm still trying to focus on the tissue cultivation thing, but at the same time, I really want to learn about the lights and supplementing with CO2 because I'm like, oh, what's that about?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
what
yeah,
you mean?
yeah.
What you talking about? What are we doing here? Because I feel like they're like people. I look at cannabis, I look at these plants like women. I do. And to me, it makes sense, right? If they can absorb more and their pores are more open and they're taking in more light and they're taking in more nutrients, you're going to get prettier fruit. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
And for me, it comes down to the terpenes, which I guess brings us back to your first question of how to get into DWC. I got into DWC for the yields, but I'm telling you, and I don't care what anybody says, the flavor is not the same. It is a much cleaner because you have to think about it. In DWC or in hydro in general, you're kind of always flushing. But if you want those terps, if you want to push that gas, it's all in the soil.
Yeah.
It all boils down to the beneficial microbes that you have in there. It boils down to the water, the nutrients. But again, you could literally, it's a fucking weed.
Yeah.
You can stick it outside, it'll
So I wanted to
fucking do its thing.
wanted to bring up a point. When you're growing in soil and you give your plant molasses or sugars, it really does, like, I think it does help with the terpenes, because there's some
It
plants
does.
where I gave some sugars, which back in the day I was using general hydroponics
Oh, I love general
nutrients,
products.
and I was using the sugar cane for most of my grows, right? And
Humboldt, sticky and sweet.
oh, really nice. Um, And yeah, it came out. I gotta say, since I stopped using it, my bud's not as tasty. My bud is not as tasty. It's still tasty,
It,
but not as tasty.
it's just, for me, that was like, okay, wait, so you're giving them a complex sugar that they cannot digest, but this was
Yeah,
early
they don't
in my
digest it.
grow.
The
It's for
microbes
the
digest.
bacteria, it's the
Yeah,
microbes that are
yeah,
gaining benefits from this. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. So all they hear is, all I got to do is pour molasses in my plant. No, baby, no, 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 because the sugars don't break down. You're creating like a film almost on the roots, and you're attracting all these bugs because you've got so much sugar in your shit. So I'm like, you
yeah.
got to dilute it. Like,
Hmm.
what's this? Kunu, just like Kunu says, do less. You have to do less sometimes.
Yeah,
But when you're when you're looking to add that sweetness to it, I will not deny that the sucrose does not, uh, no, there's nothing like it. And that's
the
why I'm
cherry on
back in
top.
the dirt now. It really, because again, it's like, for me, is about the experience I'm gonna get, but for me, it's also, I look at them each as like their own individual. Just like I look at all of us in the community, we each have something to bring to the table. We all offer something different, and the
Yeah.
more I get into studying terpenes and learning about how, because I got into this little tiff with somebody the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, that's a straight up sativa," and I said, "Baby, look, unless that is a Mom Bomb Zeke or a Malawi Gold, I don't want to hear it because it's just not possible. Everything's a hybrid these days.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about that, I would say that's sativa in appearance because you know the shortness
Yeah.
and the stockiness, the way that it grows. But it's,
It's sativa dominant.
yeah, I think it boils down to the terpenes
Yeah.
that give you that in the couch, or I don't, what do they say?
Indica.
Sativa for the streets,
Yeah.
indica for the sheets,
Yeah. Yeah.
or some shit like that. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, that makes sense. But I think it
So,
boils down to the dirt.
yeah. Okay. So I was gonna go on to the third question. What nutrients are you using now?
None.
None. Oh,
I
so you're going.
fucking shit you not. I am not kidding. People think I'm lying. I'm like, nah, dude. Like the living soil, true living soil. If you I will not sit here and say, I made this recipe. No, I didn't. I had a lot of fucking help, okay? I had to ask people that had been doing this for 30, 40 years, and a lot of people were like, you're not ready. I was like, oh, fucking ready. Oh, fucking give it to me.
You're
Like,
like,
and they
I'll do
gave
it.
me,
The
and,
research.
but when you look at, like, because I'm all about psychology, so I was looking at all these recipes, and I asked people, and I think he's a I have this one person in Denmark for their recipe, somebody in Humboldt, of course. I asked somebody in Mexico, South America, and Canada. And when you looked at all of the recipes, they were pretty much the same, but what differentiated was the sugar, and the molasses part was one of the things that varied. And then there was, I guess there's an argument between vermiculite and perlite. I'm like, what? But I can see why, because perlite does not really, I look at that as like styrofoam in your soil, so I don't know. But I
Yeah.
veered away from that. But the living soil, if you do it right, all you have to do is water. I don't even pH my water. I just water them. I have not fed them shit at all.
Yeah.
Eh,
That's why I'm switching to. That's why I literally just switched to organics because I'm done with the fucking mixing and
it's too
giving it
much.
too much and not enough, and then you need to do this, now you need to do that. I'm just like, look,
It's not.
dude, I just
It's
want
just,
water.
I
And
just
look,
got to
don't get me
water.
wrong. I'm not trying to be lazy or anything. It's just straight up.
It's
I like being able to
not
just put
lazy.
water and
It's
that's it.
not lazy.
Yeah.
It's not lazy because people ask me all the time, what's the most expensive part about growing? And they laugh when I say your newts. And
Yeah.
they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you think about the cost long term, right, you're only going to buy that light one time. You're only going to buy that tech one time. You're going to be consistently buying nutrients. And if
Yes.
you're jumping on the fucking bandwagon of whatever hype grower is sponsored and being fed by whatever nutrient company, you're going to go that way. But you don't have the same, it's not the same environment. It's not the same. And you can't just, people will like Frankenstein stuff together. you can't, not all lines are made like that. Like
So
Nectar of the Gods, for example, heavy calcium, magnesium based nutrient line. If you give that to your plants and then take it away and give it like something like general hydroponics because you're in a pinch, because it's expensive, your plants will freak the fuck out. And I'm just like, I can't, I was rocking Lotus for a while because, again, I was in the dirt and in water, and Lotus is geared to do both. So you can do hydro or soil with that. And I was reading about how, because Lotus is saying that they boost terpene production. And when I think about it, because I've used general hydroponics, I use Gaia Green, and now that I'm in the living soil, I don't use it. Ah, that's so, I shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, it's true. I'm lazy as shit. No, because look, man,
see, that's what I didn't want anybody
single
telling me. I was
parent.
like, I'm not
You're
fucking
a,
lazy.
no, I don't give a fuck. Listen, man, look, I might be lazy, but when it comes trim time, I'm gonna be plenty fucking busy. All right,
Yep.
I ain't even worried about it because it's not, because it's the cost factor for me. I was like, this is just not efficient for my budget. It's not realistic. This is getting really costly. It just doesn't make sense. And my meters kept breaking. But this was again when I was young and naive and I didn't realize how important it was to put that storage solution in your meter. You know, like there were small things like that that end up costing you a lot in the end. So I started reading about the living soil, and I was like, whoa, 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 what? And then I started reading more, and then I asked the people, and they were like, dude, I've been growing in the same dirt for like 4 years now. You haven't bought dirt in 4 years? Please tell me more. Please tell me more.
Yeah.
You bought dirt in 4 years? My man, how do you do that? And it's relative. The initial process is a lot. It is a lot. It was a lot of, I was like,
Not as easy as you think it would be.
not at first, no, because I thought foolishly, right? Oh, it's in a bag. No, it's not. Not true living soil. You're not going to find that shit in a bag, prepped, ready to go. I'll never forget. I look so. I wish I had posted that video. I should have. I look so ridiculous though. But you see me with my tarp and my bag of soil and my fucking all my amendments and everything I was gonna put in there. It is a lot of work. It's physically a lot of work, and I've got a lot of health problems. So I have degenerative disc disease in my back. I've got arthritis in my spine, and in my hands as well. And so I'm in a lot of physical pain.
Are you on your medical card or anything for your pain?
I have my medical card for cannabis, but I only got that for custody court reasons because I've been smoking cannabis a long time prior to all that shit. But it wasn't until I got older and I started like really looking at, all right, hold on, what am I putting in my body? Let's just back up a few fucking feet here and do some self-reflection and evaluation. And then that was when I stumbled upon, because when I was pregnant, I did not consume, I would not partake because it is a teratogen, it will placate the placenta. So I was using CBD, and that was when I had my first experience with CBD topicals and tinctures. And then when I got like a little bit older, I smoked, what was it? It's, everybody loves it. I fucking hate it. I literally have PTSD from this drink, green crack. I cannot smoke super racy strains because my anxiety is already super bad, and that just, I don't like it. But if you take CBD, it'll cut it back.
I recently had a bout with that panic. I never had that panic before until I got in this edible that I ate too much of an edible. And this motherfucker sent me through a panic. Like I was about to cut my plants down outside because I was panicking, thinking people were going to go in. And like, I've really been turned off by that.
Do you have
and some of my friends do. No, but I know that CBD counteracts that, right?
Yes.
At the moment, of course, you don't think about the fucking.
You're not gonna fucking, no, hell no. No, you're not going to be thinking about that shit. Yeah. No, but that's the people, and how I started growing really wasn't even for myself. I started growing for people who couldn't afford it or were too elderly and just couldn't do it. And they can't handle full THC.
Yeah.
So I started growing CBG and CBD strains only. And you may not see them but there's always one in my tent, of each in my tent, always. Until I can figure out a way to combine all three of them into a strain. It's very hard to do because they choke each other out, and I'm like, what the fuck? We're together. What the fuck?
Yeah,
They
but
just
hey,
won't do it.
sometimes you can't force some things together, like oil and water. You can't force it together. It's just not going to go together.
There's a breeder. His name is Jake 808. He's out of Hawaii. He has
Hawaii.
successfully. Oh, dude,
I
you want to
fucking love
meet
Hawaii.
like this guy is the coolest. He is such a kind person. He will tell you anything you want to know. He does. He's not about it for the clout or the fame. He just wants people to have good, clean medicine, and he knows that that's going to happen with good genetics. So he literally like, oh, darling. When I send you the menu, you'll be like, what? Right?
Like, ooh,
right? And he's done it. He has combined all three of those into strains. He's stabilized it. So I move. Oh, yeah. So I'm very excited. Oh, very excited to run his stuff. The new baby in my tent right now, she is cherry.
Oh, you are running tent. Because that was one of my questions also. That are you growing in the tent, and what kind of light do you have?
Yeah, I've got the AC Infinity Evo 8 LED series bar light.
Yeah, and did you just get it sponsored by AC Infinity?
No, I got sponsored. I got sponsored with them like a month after I got my sponsorship from HLG, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that's probably what catapulted that.
Hey.
Yes, because I tried. They rejected me so many times because I didn't meet the minimum follower qualifications. And then my liaison or my company rep, Sydney, I'll never forget this email. I was like, bro, you gotta be kidding me. You put me in all the feels right now. Because I'd only had like 2,000 followers at that time. And it was never about becoming a public figure. And that's what trips me out all the time. I'm like, I'm literally just a girl who's growing plants. Like, what? And that's what Sydney said in her email to me. She was like,
well, hold on. Let me stop you there.
Apologize.
Like, you need to know that it's your energy and the bubbliness and everything that goes into with being you that is the reason why everybody follows you. It's not just because you're growing plants. It's because you're growing plants and you're a badass personality.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's hard sometimes to remember that. It is because it just trips me out because I'm so awkward. And if you met me, you'd be like, that girl over there, she's a fucking. I'm a dork. Okay, I watch anime subbed 24. My son is named after a Dragon Ball character. Don't even. My son, his name is Kai.
What?
I tried to go for Vegeta, but they weren't going for that.
Oh my god! So you haven't seen my Vegeta tattoo then, huh? Oh my god! You need to go into my highlights. Go into my highlights on my page. I got a tattoo, a Vegeta tattoo by Bob Jones off of Ink Master.
I was gonna say Ink Master Jones. That's what I'm into tattoos. I love tattoos. I love art.
Hey, so check out my tattoo, man. That's the best Vegeta tattoo.
You got a Vegeta tattoo? That's crazy.
Fucking love Vegeta.
No, you need to do a top off Tuesday.
A what?
A top off Tuesday.
What's that?
Oh, it started. Oh my god, it was so stupid. It was a Tuesday. You know me, I love a good pun. I was in DWC. I had to top off my buckets.
Okay.
So they're I wish I'd never started it, but basically it's just my back tattoo. You can't see any of the front. Yeah. You need to do a top off Tuesday. Yeah. Ooh, Loco edition.
There you go. You know what? You're right. Thank you for that idea. I'll do it.
I just want to see your tattoo now. Now I'm like, wait, what? I
highlighted it. It's a highlight on my page. So you just go on my page and
of all things.
It's up there on the top.
Okay. Vegeta's my favorite.
So, we only got about 15 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to knock out some more questions. Yeah, an hour goes by quick when you're on this. When you're having fun, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about your the LST that you were doing. that turned into HST, right? Because it's a high stress now that it broke. I wanted to tell you, don't even trip chocolate chip. It has happened
She's
to me.
healing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
She's
the way it's healing
herself. And I didn't even, like, I used to be the one, it's so embarrassing. I've got a little caboodle that I take with me into my tent, and in my caboodle I've got trash bags, shears, clips, I've got honey, and the first aid tape bandage, so when I do break, because I know I'm going to break them.
So you put honey
I could be very, yeah, I'll put honey on there.
Really? I never thought of that.
Slather her with honey, or if my aloe plant is big enough, poor thing. God, my aloe plant has seen better days since I started growing cannabis. I'll gut the inside of my aloe plant because the way that it was explained to me. Yeah.
Heard about
aloe used to be like the OG Clodex before it was Clodex. So I'm like, hey, all right, cool. Like I use that to heal them too, and then I'll put the tape on there because I like to use that tape instead because it's much more breathable. So as the branch grows, I don't have to worry about that little like dinky. It'll still grow. So that's why I like the flex tape. But sometimes I'm like, well, I guess that's a clone now. It depends on where it's at.
Should I do that shit
too? But I didn't do that this time, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to see what would happen because I'm all about experimenting within reason.
Yeah.
And what she's doing right now, I swear to God, like I'm such a Spider-Man. I'm a huge web head, so to me it is so fascinating because it looks like she's shooting webs to pull herself back together. It is
fibers
so
are starting to
beautiful.
build back together, right?
Yes, and she's doing it by herself.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Nutrients,
that's why
no nothing.
I have to say that this plant is a fucking amazing. Like this plant is fascinating, dude. Fascinating.
What it is capable of?
Yeah, and as long as you feed her right, you give her all that stuff, she will last and be able to handle things like breaks, things like because I seen do you know Pigeons 420? Have you heard of him? Okay, he's a YouTuber and he grows also. He's on Instagram too. One time I was following him and he took his plant and it was growing too far and he just bent it. Just snapped it over. And this fucking thing, it was horrible. But this thing grew a knuckle. It turned into a knuckle and started going over to the side, going back up, and then he turned it back this way. It was just amazing.
You like Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Yes.
Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. And there's one line in that movie you will hear me say over and over again. Life finds a way. And these girls will find a fucking way.
You need to calm down.
I'm fucking telling
me
you.
And you were almost the same shit.
I'm telling you. It's the vibe. It's the vibe. Because they really will find a fucking way to heal themselves, find the light. It is the most remarkable thing to me.
On that note, they do like, you know how we do a bunch of females and shit? They will hermaphrodite sometimes just to keep that line going. I'm telling you, life finds a way. Even in fish, there's a colony of fish. There's some fish that if there's too many females, one female will turn into a male. It will totally change its physical appearance, turn into a male just to be able to procreate. And I'm trying to tell you, that's why life finds a way.
Life does find a way. They really will find a way because it was my first DWC run, the Master Kush. I super cropped her, and the branches that were cascading down, who could never even reach the light because it was on the very front of the tent and it would come up and hit the wall. I shit you fucking not. I will send you the photos. They like fish hooked, like the colas and everybody. They like fish hooked themselves and started growing up towards the light. And I was just like, this is coolest fucking thing in the world, dude. Like, what? That's cool as shit.
So
I thought that was so beautiful.
Back to that Pigeons 420 dude. He actually bought this tip over pot, which is the pot that holds the plant this way vertical, or I don't know what this is, but sideways, right? Holds the plant down so just nothing but the colas grow up the way that you were saying. And
it is tippy toppy?
Tippy top, tip pot. I don't remember the real name of it.
Because I tried that.
Really?
Before I found out about tippy toppy, I tried that. See, people thought I was crazy, but I put the milk crate in my tent but that was for a reason. I put the baby in a tomato rust sack. I took them out of the pot. I put them in a tomato rust sack. I put the rust sack into the milk crate, and I literally kicked that bitch over.
Yeah.
And then she started low stress training. She started training herself, and then eventually it got to the point where she could no longer hold her weight.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I got to figure this out. So what my dumbass was doing was using those garden wire hooks that you can put like floral arrangements in or whatever, like the green things that you can stick flowers in to make arrangements or wreaths.
Yeah.
I took those, cut them in half, and I was using those to support it. But it was just, and at that point I was like, oh, she ain't gonna make it. So we took loans. Because we were like, this is not gonna. The idea is there, the theory is not. And then I posted the photo, and that company reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, you want to give it another grow?" And I was just like, "Man, fuck," because the idea is there. Yes. Again, if you're working in a 4x4 space and you kick it over, and I looked at it happening, I was like, "Oh shit, I could only do 2 plants like this."
Yeah.
Because of the way it's growing out, it's taking up space.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fine. I can't do this yet. I don't have the space yet, but I will revisit that because one of my favorite gadgets in the tent are the yo-yos.
Oh yeah.
I think the yo-yos are like the most genius thing in the world. I'm like, yeah, this is so clutch.
Yeah. The yo-yo hangers are fucking cool as shit. That's why I only use yo-yo hangers. I don't use trellises. I use yo-yo hangers.
Yep.
That's fucking nice.
Because when
so
she trellised it, she's stuck.
We only got about 10 minutes left, so I want to get this question out. I still have a bunch more questions, so we could do like part 2 one of these times if you're down.
I'm down. We can do it right now. You can hit me all at once, or we could take our time.
No, actually, I want to give you a good question that's going to take us a couple minutes to discuss.
Okay.
Hi,
Rebel. Hey, girl.
I want to say, what do you think is the future of the cannabis community or the cannabis industry? Here we go. This is one. Here we go. Do you think that the future is?
You really want to do this? Let's do it. Okay.
Do you think it's medicine? Do you think it's federal? Where the banks could be able to get into it, that way we could start making investments. Do you think? Because this is why I'm doing this show. I'm doing this show to start to switch up the status quo and to start getting this as normalized as possible for when it is federally legal, because it's going to happen, guys.
It's going to happen, yes, but that will not happen. And I think the biggest hang up for states like mine are going to be Philip Morris and RJ Reynolds, who own the tobacco companies. Because Virginia's cash crop was and is tobacco. Yeah. And I keep telling everybody we are a fucking state of farmers. We could replace that cash crop, but you've got DC and Big Pharma. So there's your first roadblock, right? The second roadblock is going to be...
Only until they want to get into it.
Exactly, but they can't figure that out, and they can't put a tax on it, and they can't claim all this revenue because you've got the black market, right? Yeah.
Well,
and you can't just fight.
You could say over
the
here,
balance.
Where I'm at, I'm in Washington, and it's legal to grow, or it's legal for recreation also, right? And we have Oregon, where it's been legal for recreational way longer. Okay, yep. So you got 2 states right here that are completely different because you are taxed like crazy in Washington. In Oregon, you can't even give it away. Most people are growing so much you can't give the shit away, and it's nothing but fire in Oregon. In Oregon, it is nothing but fire. It is fucking delicious. They let you smell the
genetics they're pushing.
Oh god, they let you smell the buds in the dispensary before you buy the shit, but before you buy the clones, which is fucking cool.
They sell clones in dispensaries? They do not
you get clones
do that here. No, Virginia is like
many clones. No. Well, not as many clones. I think there's a limit, but you can buy clones and seeds and everything. So over here we got it. Yes. So yeah, like straight up at the dispensary, you can just be like, "Yo, give me a pack of seeds," and they're like, "Here you go, man. These are the genetics. This is where it's running. You could follow the grower. You could do everything, man." This is why I'm trying to tell you. It is going to happen, and with the rest of the country is going to be like us. Okay.
I hope. But if you're watching because I look at, this is gonna sound crazy, I cross-reference everything. I don't just stick to one means. So I look at Forbes.
Okay.
I'll read economic. If you go to LinkedIn and you type in cannabis related business, you will get all of the news in
Okay.
terms of economics
What up, Dink?
and what is
Yeah.
happening in the world. And
Yeah.
right now, I guess the issue is there's more supply than demand.
Oh.
And so a lot
Yeah.
of my friends
That's why I'm
and people
like,
who have been doing this, you know what I mean? They're out of money because everyone's growing it for themselves now. And I will
yeah.
always say you need both. It's a balance because not everybody can grow.
Yeah.
I believe everyone can grow, but if you don't have the patience, if you don't have the passion, people think I can just throw this seed in the dirt and in 3 months I'll have no, baby, no. I don't know who lied to you. I don't know what song you just heard. That is not how this
It's
shit
just
works.
ignorance.
With an
It's just,
auto,
you don't know.
maybe.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
auto.
but I mean, again, do you think you're gonna get those boutique strains by doing that? No. First of all, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting a lot of things. You could really push one plant so beautifully. You don't need to do all this extra, but until people start realizing that, it's like, and that's where the grower comes in. It's like you have to be willing to not just keep your eye on what is hot. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
everyone's gonna breed with it at one point or another. You got to find something different, and this is what I mean when I say we all bring something different to the table. If we all
Yeah.
have different palates, we all have different tastes, and we come together, it will make the experience so much more pleasurable. Like when people ask me what's in your tent, and I go CBD, CBG, they're like, what the fuck? Why are you growing that shit for? I'm like, hold on, wait. Let me
It's
get you a
medicine.
blunt. Let me get you a blunt. Yeah, it'll be one that because the CBG is cannabidiol is the love of my life. She's the mother of all cannabinoids. She has great anti-inflammatory. She's like, and they're even using her now in regenerating cells and in cancer
Really?
cases. Yeah, I'm
Really?
like, and no one's
Yeah.
talking about
This,
it. It
this
feels
plant, this plant is so
it's so much
fascinating.
more. It's so much more. I mean, we
Yes.
do have an endocannabinoid system, yes, but the entourage effect is real. And once you ingest more cannabinoids at the same time, different receptors of your brain are going off. I mean, come on. You got a fireworks show going on up there. Fucking call me Katy Perry, because, yeah, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, that's a good feeling. And I
Yes.
want people to feel that feeling. And I don't want people, because there are some people who can't smoke, but they can eat edibles.
Yeah.
But if they're always being fed the same thing, then it's kind of like you get that tolerance build up, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you start ingesting different cannabinoids and start activating different receptors of the brain and have different parts of your body going, why wouldn't you logically conclude that that is the way? But
Yeah.
we're not there because everybody in the community who has a chance or a voice to say something is worried about their THC percentage.
Ah. Yeah, well,
That's
and that
the
is the
status
hype. That
quo.
that is definitely the hype right now is the high THC thing, and
And
everybody's
until,
just
like,
trying to get stupefied when
but
you
why?
also need. Well, because life is hard. I think it's because life is hard, and people want to either don't want to go to the alcohol route, so they want to stick with cannabis, but they
No,
want to
don't
stick
do
with
the
cannabis,
depressants.
very strong cannabis. You know what I mean? So
How
that's what I think.
you be able
Um,
to smoke and do shit,
yeah.
though? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well,
Like,
hey, there's sometimes I don't want to.
oh,
Sometimes I get home and I
bruh,
want to turn my fucking brain off, and I just want
GDP all day. For
whoa, I just
me,
want to
that
sit here
strain,
and dumbify.
that's GDP for me. That's why Granddaddy Perp is my
Oh,
favorite
granddaddy,
strain
I
out of all.
fucking.
Oh my
Have
gosh.
you ever heard of Trophy Wife?
Somebody mentioned that to me the other day. That one in a corpse bride, and I was like, "What?
Yo,
What is this?"
Wife. Trophy Wife is it's a high indica, high indica. Keep
Like,
your ass in the couch. When is it in the couch? I'm like, it
and
almost gets me
you're
2 stone.
you're talking to
And
a diehard indica girl here, but
oh yeah, oh
I've been going into the sativa realm because I have chronic depression and I'm bipolar,
okay,
and sativas have mood
yeah,
stabilizing, uplifting, euphoric effects. But I think that is the terpenes. I don't think that is Because when you look at the strains that are considered sativas, the common denominator across them all is going to be your limonene, pinene, and the other, I can't think of it right now. My brain is like going off. But like those terpenes in general, if you look up focused terpenes and then you look at the strains, those strains are typically considered to be sativas. But if you look at the chemical components of what make up that plant, even though they are hybrids and they have been changed and altered through the course of time, the one constant thing are the terpenes across the board. At least for me, and from what I've done, my research and what everything that I've talked to, this is kind of where we're going. But these kind of people are far and few in between. You know, like, okay, Mr. Green Thumb, I see you, Trophy Lab, and putting that on the list.
Yeah, put that on the list. That's a good one.
I put that on the list. I try to keep that list but then it grows every day.
So we are up to our hour mark, and we're probably going to get shut off here in a couple minutes. But I wanted to come on here, and I wanted to say thank you so much for being on. You have been
welcome.
Yes. You have been amazing, and you are always welcome back for another episode anytime. The offer is always there, so don't forget that.
Whenever you want.
Is there anyone sponsors or anybody that you wanted to plug?
If I'm gonna sponsor anybody, it's not. Those companies make enough money. So people I'm gonna say and recommend on Mr. Green Thumb Hydro for sure. Half Skull Cannabis, absolutely. Yep. This man, I am so embarrassed of my community right now, and he fucking stood up for the kids and special need kids, and people are tearing them apart right now, and it makes me so sad. Wonderful person, great genetics, good. Kind soul. Carter Ritchie, I would have to say, Three Heathens Cannabis, Farmer Joe Grows, like the list. I have so much love for everybody. I can't just pick one person. It's so hard. It really is so hard, and that's what I wish people would really get on that. Like, this page is not about me. I don't keep the Toasty Mama going for me. I do it because I have a little bit of pull in some areas, and if I can use that to improve somebody else's situation, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. Because I got here with a lot of fucking help. Yeah. I would not be where I am today without help. And we all need help. So just be kind. Cultivate fucking kindness. Yeah. Instead of your fucking lemon cherry gelato bullshit. Sorry. I don't like lemon cherry.
So, what else was I going to say? I was going to say, also, to remind you that you're killing it. I've already said it 3 times, but I need to say it one more time.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because everybody following you really cares for you. So make sure that you, don't trip out too much or just don't overthink. You know what I mean?
No, I got more things to focus on in my time.
There you go. Good. All right, guys. I needed to say High Photon Flux. I want to give them a shout out. Make sure to check out the link is in my bio. Go ahead and click it and hit promo code SLY aka Loco to get yourself some bucks off at checkout if you want to get one of those lights. And shout out to Defiant Seeds, OG Splitperson, TY Genetics, everybody who supports me. Make sure to come tap in next week. We're gonna have another episode of CannaConvos with Milo. He's in here. Milo, he's gonna be in here. We're gonna have him too. I don't know if he is next week, but and then after that, I need to let you guys know that I don't have anybody booked. So I'm gonna have to start booking some more, and I might take a week or 2 off. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Toasty Mama, K-Bug, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks everybody for coming to check us out. And
Green Thumb, you're so sweet. Thank you again for having me. You're so wonderful. Thank you.
Make sure you guys come check us out, and thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You
Be
too.
safe.
Bye.
Bye.